You are looking at the first Medal of Honor recipient in the Second World War, Alexander Sandy Nininger Jr. He was awarded it posthumously for action in and around Abu Qay on the Bataan Peninsula in the Philippines, January 12th, 1942, when he was killed in action. What happened this day is that his company was not in action. He was in the 1st Battalion, 57th Regiment, Philippine Scouts, and he volunteered to fight in another company that was in action this day that was a part of his regiment. He said, I'll go help them out, and he led an anti-sniper scout patrol. And he went forth this day. He was shooting Japanese snipers out of trees. He was throwing grenades into foxholes until he was all alone, deep in Japanese-held territory. And they found him dead after being wounded multiple times and being told, stop, get out of here, you're wounded. He just kept going. He got shot in the shoulder. He got shot in the thigh. He got shot a third time. It's unclear where. And they found him next to a dead Japanese officer and 2 Japanese soldiers. The story is that he was charging a machine gun position and he had just thrown a grenade, and then he got shot and killed. And then the grenade went off and killed those that shot him. But again, very well deserved. They said his actions this day actually lifted the morale for all of the troops on the Bataan Peninsula at a very dark time for the American Army during this war. The Bataan Peninsula was not a good situation at this point in time. A family member who I had guessed look into his service some and asked people that had served with him, what happened. They said, quote, some say he seemed to go berserk at the time, which does seem to be the case. But he was a very interesting, a very well thought out young man. He had arrived in the Philippines in November 1941. He had requested to go to the Philippines after being recently graduated from West Point. He was deeply religious. His father, before he left, gave him a crucifix that he wore. And he actually, Captain Fred Yeager, when he was buried, Captain Fred kept the crucifix through combat, through captivity, and then after the war, gave the crucifix back to his family. He told, interestingly enough, he told a girlfriend, I don't know if he was bawling like that or if it was just a girl who was a friend. The sources are unclear. But he said, do not expect me to return home. Again, he requested to go to the Philippines, knowing that war with Japan was probably imminent, and knowing, hopefully, he was very concerned that he would not be able to live up and have the courage to fight. And I think that he was saying, don't expect me, because when I get into action, I'm going to do the absolute best that I can. But again, a very well thought out young man. He wrote to his mom before he was deployed. He said, Mother, get this straight. I love my country, my home, my family, my friends, and I'm willing to sacrifice for them in the cause of right. Deeply religious young man, very well thought out, and a shame that he was killed in action at only 23 years old, January 12th, 1942. And again, the first Medal of Honor recipient posthumously after his death.